Welcome to Album of the Week, episode 35, June 2023. For those of you new to this channel, here at Scream Blast Repeat, we bring you all things extreme metal, prog, and dark alternative. You can read our daily reviews at www.screamblastrepeat.com. As a reminder, our definition of Album of the Week means our favourite record from a short list of 8. Today, we review the sophomore effort from English mathcore unit Pupil Slicer. Their new LP is called Blossom, and they released it via Prosthetic Records on the 2nd of June 2023. London trio Pupil Slicer made everyone's best of list in 2021 with their stunning debut LP, Mirrors. Scream Blast Repeat placed it at number 27 in our best albums of 2021 and noted that there's no melody, no happy ending, and no holding back here. It's a vicious album of emotional extremes and crushing brutality. Not only did it re-energize mathcore, but it also redirected attention to Prosthetic Records as one of the finest record labels in the extreme metal underground. It's fair to say the wait for the group's sophomore effort is at peak curiosity levels, and the expectations invested in it go beyond hype. Pupil Slicer are in that once-in-a-lifetime moment of a band's career when the status quo of heavy music looks towards them as a barometer for the future. Of course, Pupil Slicer keep good company in the contemporary English scene. Rollo Tomasi and Ithaca are mentors and admirers of the band. Their friends in Death Goals released an invigorating hardcore record in May this year. In Kate Davis, they have a leader with an unusual entry into the metal underground via years of studying the violin and long periods outside of mainstream education in her teenage years. Her journey into heavy music began with Death Heaven. Drummer Josh Andrews covers Converge songs on YouTube, and bassist Luke Fabian works his 4 strings like a virtuoso rock star. This unorthodoxy makes for an experimental environment in which aggression and vitriolic rage can offer catharsis. On Blossom, they add a new texture to this blistering mix. Shoegaze. Despite the talk of Radiohead influencing this album's introspective moments, it'd be more accurate to revisit Nine Inch Nails in their glorious era of The Fragile as a reference point for the band's subtle change of direction. Opener, Glaring Dark of Night, introduces the mood of unease via a synthesized piano ingested with clashing notes and eerie intervals. It's a clever way to prepare you for the opening frenzy of blast beats and scorched throat vocals in Momentary Actuality, where the annihilatory alternations between high acceleration and violent grooves leave you in a state of shell shock. The drums and guitars seem locked in a battle for supremacy until Davis steers into a surprise alt-rock paradox of atonal distortion and radiant voice melodies. It's a colossal risk, yet it works when they rush straight back into a barrage of Dillinger escape plan equations to seize you by the throat with a pistol to your face. You might want to remove the headphones after track 4 to take stock of your situation. This is impossible, even though your mind wants to make sense of the trauma unfolding in front of your eyes. Departure in Solitude revels in its determination to throw everything into the melting pot. An opening onslaught of drums gives way to a shoegaze introspection before your adrenaline can subside. Listen how an electronic breakbeat transitions from here to the best riff on the album with a face-melting chugfest of ugly chord formations and nerve-shredding grooves. How does Kate Davis maintain her intensity without fainting onto the floor? Could it be the cameo solo from Luke Fabian that helps her stay on her feet? The drumming is all over the place on Blossom. You can't get through a Pupil Slicer song without Josh Andrews leaving his mark on the audio assault course. Creating the devil in our image would be a standard piece of hardcore if not for the dark opening of arpeggiated guitars and the decision to evolve in the midsection from a slap bass extravaganza to a full minute of stop-start time signature obliterations. They might be a band for musicians, but they project their emotions like the disturbed performance art of lingua ignota. This is what elevates Pupil Slicer above the contemporaries in the mathcore scene. They have no time for ironic humour or elitist sarcasm. Let's see if the hipster indie crowd can stick with the trio through the 8 minutes of the song at creation's end, where Kate quotes My Bloody Valentine and then ends it in a left field turn towards Machine Head's drop-tuned thrash metal. Imagine Trent Reznor's emotional meltdown on a razor from the downward spiral if you want something for comparative purposes. The question is not why this album is so good, but why is it so powerful? The psychopathic posturing of no tempo gives you the chaotic riff patterns and the thought-provoking lyrics to accompany them. Fascination with clinging onto this. There's no mistaking it. Cycle must go on, continuing, eschewing, renewing the galaxy. It comes so costly, lives are lost on it. Looking back, trusting in family again, screams Davis. The band revealed a loose concept to the album in earlier interviews, talking of a sci-fi horror setting where questions of human existence pale into insignificance in the galaxy of time. The lyrics are cryptic enough for the listener to externalize their own pain and suffering onto them, and imaginative enough to avoid accusations of incoherent babbling. You can feel the sorrows of terminal lucidity like a visit to a family gravestone before the song goes off into a murderous insanity of thrusting guitar and drum outbursts. It would be hard for the band to sustain this tempo for 10 songs, and they recognise that moving away from this objective might be in their best interests. It's a brave decision that pays off. The last 2 songs leave the mathcore in near abandonment and seek recuperation in the darker side of alternative rock. Dim Morning Light transports you to a slow-motion nostalgia for better times, but you know this temporary shelter will harm you in the long run. Imagine Lush in the hands of Rolo Tomas's Noise Machine. The trio remain in the 1990s for the closing title track with a nod to Placebo's mid-range guitar slashes and Courtney Love's anguished atonal voice. It's not a million miles away from their more aggressive tracks on Blossom when you revisit it for repeat analysis. The guitars sting like a swarm of bees, screams appear from nowhere but leave few traces. Kate's contralto voice tries to sound upbeat underneath the tear-filled sunglasses. Might this balancing act be something they explore on future albums, knowing how much it could alienate the older sections of the fanbase? Seldom does an album with so many risks triumph, but Blossom is a rare exception. It's as heavy as anything you'll hear all year, yet it swims with colourful timbers and bristles with an overflow of ideas. Pupil Slicer have elevated mathcore to new levels with this record. So, after such an enthralling listening experience, we award this album a 9 out of 10. If you like this album, we recommend you check out the following records: Dillinger Escape Plan's Option Paralysis LP from 2010, 9 Inch Nails' classic double album from 1999, The Fragile, and Ithaca's They Fear Us record from last year. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, and more importantly, please visit our website at www.screamblastrepeat.com for the latest album and EP reviews from established, up-and-coming, and unsigned artists in the worlds of extreme metal, prog, and dark alternative.